This is a recap and review of how to make a custom stitch for a denim pocket. This project file will be available on the Vault with 5-step instructions on how to do it. What we're going to do is create our own custom stitch. If you look at my artboard here, I have, for my project, I have 4 artboards, and I have a project file. Step 1 is what we're going to do right now. What we're going to do in step 1 is we're going to create this double brush stroke, which is pretty organic looking, and it's meant to mimic this stitch right here. We're then going to create a scatter brush from this particular pattern, and we're going to apply it to a stroke like you see here. We'll then scale it and customize it. We'll rotate it, flip it, and space it so it looks like an embroidered stitch. So the first step is you want to place this file. So you go File, Place, and look for that image. Put it in the project so you can see what you need. Now I made my stroke here kind of big. In comparison, I had to scale it way down for my stroke. So the size of your stitch does make a difference. In other words, if your pocket was really big, this stroke would be okay. I have my layers palette open, but I also need, under the window menu, brushes open. I like to keep these side by side and have my artboard off here to the left. First tool you're going to use is the paintbrush. We're going to make this same brush stroke right here. You should create a new layer. I'm going to just call mine Demo. And this is going to be your stitch layer. First thing you're going to need to do is go to the Brushes Flyout menu. Create a new brush. I call it a bristle brush. Hit OK. And I've actually placed in the document here exactly how I did this. However, you can customize this all day long. I'm just giving you one possible option on how to do it. I'm going to choose round curve. And I'm going to just customize this. I'm going to leave it at about 3 millimeters, but I'm going to make it pretty short in bristle length. I'm going to leave the density as is, but I'm going to up the thickness of the course, or the coarseness of the brush. I'm also going to up the opacity a little bit, but not all the way, because I don't want it totally dark. I want it a little bit see-through. And then I'm going to change the stiffness as well. And that gives me something that's kind of see-through. I just played around with a bunch of options till I got something that I thought looked decent. With the brush and your Wacom tablet, you're going to want to make an upside down V. That should be pretty good there. This is your basic stitch. Now you're going to come over and you're going to select it. Now, I was looking at this image and I noticed that it's actually 2 stitches here. But since I want this sort of double look, all I'm going to do is select this stroke and then I'm going to copy and place. So I'm going to copy, paste in place. So paste it right there. I'll hold down Shift, scale it up a little bit, and I'm just going to use my arrows to bump it over. I'll widen it a touch. I think that'll look decent. I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to group them by hitting Command G and Control G on the PC. And now the next step is, with those 2 selected, go to the Brushes menu, New Brush, and we're going to choose Scatter this time. Hit OK, and I'm going to call this Demo Zigzag, just so I know exactly where it is. You can change all of this stuff if you forget to do this at this point, but right now the main thing is I want to change this rotation relative to path, because I want to apply this thing to a path and I want it to rotate based on the path, on the direction of the path. And that's really important. How you draw your paths is how it will move. And you can change the scale, the spacing, and all that later on. Last thing is colorization. Make sure it's on tints. Has to be on tints to change its color later. And okay. Now if you zoom out, you'll see up here, oops, up here is my demo zigzag brush. And all your scatter brushes are going to be these little icons. These are bristle brushes and art brushes down here. So we've made a scatter brush. So it'll always be in the form of a little thumbnail.